You start off your weight loss journey super hot, super motivated with a ton of momentum, and you've got that day one energy. And then something just happens a little bit in where that motivation starts to die down, that momentum starts to slow down, that day one energy is just kind of gone. And you're looking at these other people that have lost weight and actually put obesity behind them for good. And you're going, I just don't know if I have that kind of motivation. I just don't know if I have that kind of discipline. They're just more motivated. They're just more disciplined than me. Trust me, I've been in your exact same position. Here is literally step by step how to get that motivation back, that day one energy back, and that momentum back so that you can continue stepping into the life of actually putting obesity behind you for good, because it's been long enough and you deserve it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Nick. I'm your weight loss coach. I lost 110 pounds in 2019 and have kept it off for 6 years with ease after a lifetime of losing and gaining back anywhere from 50 to 75 pounds on every single diet and every single weight loss program known to mankind. I make this podcast for people that are fed the fuck up, not for people that want to look better, feel better by losing 20 pounds to get into their wedding dress, for people that have 30 plus pounds to lose, that are fed the fuck up with being fat, ready to put obesity behind them for good and step into the healthiest versions of themselves so that they can actually save their own lives and get some mental headspace back that we can put into other things. So if that's you and you're truly fed the fuck up, you're going to find this podcast and all of these podcast episodes extremely helpful. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. Literally, step by step, how to get your motivation back, how to get your momentum back, and how to get that day one energy back. Starting with number one, the first thing you need to understand is you do not need to be motivated to lose weight. Had somebody told me this, it would have saved me years of hating myself into results that were never permanent and then quitting when I didn't feel motivated. You actually need to be able to make progress on your health and continue your healthy habits and continue developing healthy habits even when you are not motivated, because you will not be motivated every day. So if you can only lose weight when you're motivated, that's a sign that what you're doing is not sustainable, or that you just haven't made actual permanent identity shifts and habit shifts. You need to get to the point where you are losing weight and prioritizing your health and taking healthy action, regardless of your level of motivation, the same way you brush your teeth. So even when you're sad, even when you're not motivated, you brush your teeth in the morning, you brush your teeth at night because you've been doing it long enough that it's just a habit, right? So when you are unmotivated, reframe that as an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can start taking some healthy action even when you're not motivated. And what that does is it gives you a reference point and it gives you a memory. It's actually a blessing. You need to experience a lack of motivation on your journey to lose weight sustainably, because throughout your life, you will experience periods of lack of motivation. You need to have that reference point of being able to continue healthy habits. Reframe this lack of motivation. It's not a curse. It is an opportunity for you to practice and prove to yourself that you can continue taking healthy action even when you're not motivated. I am regularly unmotivated, even now, 6 years later, and I still take healthy action. It's not a question of, am I going to? It's just a question of how am I going to make it happen, or what is a smaller action that I can take? And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. So number one is you do not need to be motivated. You actually need to experience a lack of motivation on this journey to build the reference points and the permanent identity shift of putting obesity behind you. Number two is recognize you actually get motivated from doing things. So the part of you that's like, I don't know, I can't go on a walk, I'm not motivated. If you were to go on the walk, you would be motivated on the walk and you'd be motivated after the walk. I don't want to eat healthy food, and I fully relate to this, right? I don't want to eat healthy food, I'm just not motivated. I'd rather eat the pizza. From eating healthy food, you will actually experience motivation from doing it and after doing it, and you won't want the pizza anymore because you'll already be filled of healthier foods and you won't have the same cravings. So connect with the fact that motivation is going to come from taking action. And that being said, it does start to compound over time. So motivation and momentum is something that does build over time and that you can really stack wins for. Right? So you don't need to be motivated, and you get motivated from doing things. But if you are constantly unmotivated all the time, every minute of every single day, that's a deeper issue where this list is really going to help you. Number three is reconnect with or change your why. So why is this journey so important to you? You might be a month in of prioritizing your health and taking care of yourself, losing weight, eating healthier foods, working on your relationship with food, addressing your fat mind, doing all the things we've talked about in the last 100 or so episodes. You're making some progress. Now you're feeling less momentum. What is your why? Has your why changed? Does your why still feel strong? I'm coaching my mom through her weight loss journey on what I call the common sense diet system, which you've probably heard if you're a regular listener of this show. And my mom, from weeks about 14 to about 19 was in a bit of a plateau where she didn't make that much progress. And the reason that we embarked on the journey together in the first place was because she had debilitating medical anxiety and medical issues that had her in and out of the ER every other week for over a year. So we actually solved the main thing that we were looking to solve way before we hit the number on the scale, because she's no longer in and out of the hospital and no longer plagued by medical anxiety and medical issues, which is huge, right? Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished leads to a bit of complacency a lot of the times and less motivation and momentum, a less connection to our why. So what we had to do for her was just completely recreate a new why. What is a new strong reason why we can continue prioritizing our health? You want to look better, feel better? Yes. Want to live longer, be lighter? Yes. But what is a deeper reason? And for her, she's a grandchild on the way from my sister who's pregnant, and connecting with that, it's like she wants to be that grandma. She wants to be the grandma that's active at the games, the grandma that's active on hikes, the grandma that can go and travel nationally and internationally without her obesity preventing her from doing that. The grandma that can push the stroller and not worry about the stroller falling over and her not being able to pick it up. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Or just any of that kind of thing, like can actually be there and can provide safety for a grandchild. And it's very hard to do that when you're extremely, extremely, extremely morbidly obese, right? So for her, finding that new why gives her a new drive. It almost feels like she has some of that day one energy and momentum back now that she is connecting to something different, because that's not something that's entirely solvable. Did you already achieve your goal, and why is this journey important to you? Write down your why and put it on a piece of paper next to your toothbrush so that you look at it every morning and every night. And for those of you that are really, really serious about this, read it to yourself when you look in the mirror. The reason it's so important for me to take care of my health is because blank. If I do not take aligned action and get into integrity with myself, with food and movement, and start treating myself with more love, start stepping into more belief, start stepping into more self-trust, this is what my life will be like in 5 years. If I do take aligned action, this is what my life will be like in 5 years. I'm proud to say and honored that I get to choose where I land on that spectrum, because I am in complete control of my journey and of my life. I am in the driver's seat. The choice is completely up to me. There's no right or wrong. There's only aligned and misaligned, and I will choose where I end on that spectrum. And the good news is that you're the kind of person that makes healthy choices, which is why you're listening to this podcast and resonating with this message so much. The fourth thing here is step in front of the mirror. This is called mirror work. Go stand in front of your mirror, look right into your left eye, put your forehead right up against the mirror, look straight into your soul and take a breath. And some people think this is cheesy and this is woo, and that's fine. Like, let yourself be cheesy and woo. It's not a big deal. You need to be able to connect with yourself and see the truth. The reality is that everything you're looking for is already inside of you, but we're so distracted by food and all of the other things that we distract ourselves with, like Netflix and TV and scrolling on social media, or even listening to podcasts or watching content from people that lost weight, but then not implementing the tools. Like, that was my whole life too, right? Watching people make low calorie, high protein recipes that I never cooked one time, just because I would like get off on the idea of what it would be like, and the dream of it felt better than the implementation of any of these things ever could have. And that's a whole nother podcast episode probably. To get in front of the mirror, look into your left eye, and just take a big breath, biggest breath of your life. Have an honest check-in with yourself. Where are you at exactly? Where specifically are we not living as our healthiest selves? What do you need? How can you give what you need to yourself? And don't forget to smile. Don't forget to love yourself. End it with an I love you, I got you. I'm practicing self-belief. I'm practicing self-love. We got this. I'm going to coach myself through this very moment right now, because everything I need is already inside of me. When I take this moment to connect with myself, I can see that the path forward is already inside of me. I just have to get rid of the distractions. Number 5 is come back to simplicity and common sense. A lot of the times when motivation starts to wane, the day one energy goes away, it feels like we were on this rocket ship that was taken off. Now the rocket ship's kind of stalled. Maybe it's even like gone down a little bit. We're like, how do we get the fuel back? We got to just come back to simplicity. Everything that we're talking about are creative reframes and self-love and self-trust and ways of feeling better, navigating our minds and navigating our relationships with ourselves, so that we can do 4 things. The 4 things are nutrition, exercise, sleep, and water. That's actually all you need to lose weight. Those are the only actions, right? Nutrition, exercise, sleep, water. Everything else is a question of how can we get into integrity with those 4 things? Because in doing so, If we were in integrity with all those four things, we would have never been fat in the first place. But we had a bunch of trauma come up in our lives, and all that trauma distracted us from actually taking care of ourselves. And now we've been living in patterns that were never ours in the first place, but we picked up as ways to protect ourselves and hide from the parts of ourselves in our lives that are uncomfortable, and coping with food and using it to feel better and avoid certain ways of feeling. And that makes sense. Now we need to get into integrity with nutrition, exercise, sleep, and water. So when you feel that overwhelm of like, God, there's all these things that I'm doing, and I should be talking to myself more, I should be meditating, and I should be doing this, and I should be doing that, I should be journaling, and I should be listening to some better music and some more inspiring podcasts, and I need, oh my God, and then I got to go to bed on time, and then I got all this other shit. Come back to the simplicity compass. The simplicity compass, north, east, south, west. Nutrition, exercise, sleep, water. Draw that out on a piece of paper, NESW, nutrition, exercise, sleep, water. Put it right next to your toothbrush on a piece of paper. And in the morning, just look at N, nutrition. What am I eating today? E, exercise. When am I walking today? Preferably in the morning. S, sleep. How's my sleep? What do I need to do to get to bed a little bit earlier? The best way to feel better about your life is to get to bed on time. It's not to wake up and have a crazy morning routine. The way to have a great morning routine is to go to bed on time. Sleep is all about going to bed at a specific time. And W is water. When am I drinking water today? Preferably, you're pounding 2 pints of water first thing in the morning with a little bit of salt or a little bit of electrolytes. If you do those four things for one day, you just get in integrity with eating an appropriate amount of food, going on a 20-minute walk outside, sleeping 8 hours, and drinking enough water for one day, you will feel so much of that momentum and so much of that drive that you feel like you've been missing. You literally just need a one-day reset, come back to the simplicity compass, and come back to common sense. We need you to come back to common sense so that you can step into this healthiest version of yourself. Number 6 is identify your key habit. So everybody has a key habit that dictates the success of all of their other habits. So for me, it's my morning walk. When I go on my morning walk, everything else just flows for the day. Healthy eating is easy, work is easy, calls are easy, I'm moving with the flow, podcasting is easy. My whole life feels put together when I'm on my morning walk. Now, when I miss my morning walk, it's not that I'm not still doing these things, but everything just feels like it takes a little bit more effort and I'm a little bit less motivated. Everybody has a key habit that dictates how they feel throughout the day. For you, it might be sleep, it might be water, it might be journaling in the morning, it might be having a call with your family member, it might be any number of things, eating a healthy breakfast. It doesn't need to be something super complex, it can be something really simple. But whatever that is, commit to that for the short term. Hey, for a week, I'm getting back in integrity with this one key habit. Things are all over the place. My water, my sleep, my journaling, my this, my that, my oh my God, and then this party, and then I've got this trip in 7 weeks and I'm stressing out about what am I going to eat. Maybe I should just start my diet after that. The New Year's coming up in 3 months. Like, what am I even doing? It's the end of September. It's going to be October. Like all of that, take a breath. What is my key habit? And how can I just do that today and then commit to that for a week? How can I just go on my morning walks for a week? Let it be easy, get out of my own way, and then practice building from there. Number 7 is reset your environment. You walk into your house right now, you've got the mail in the corner, you got the shit from the kids in the corner, you've got the trash is not fully taken out, there's kind of this over there, there's laundry over there, things are getting out of hand, and I don't know, I'm stressed out. Reset your environment. Forget about weight loss for a second. We are not here to experience a weight loss journey. We are here to change from the inside out. For us to lose weight, we need to get a little bit more control over our mental state and clean up our mental clutter. Our mental clutter is shown by all the other clutter in our lives, like the cup for water or the Diet Coke you got from McDonald's, it's still sitting in the car, even though it was yesterday. That sort of shit. We've got to clean it up. And when you actually think about how long that would take, it feels so overwhelming. Like going through the mail that's been sitting in the corner of the kitchen feels so overwhelming, but it actually only takes 15 minutes. And everything you're looking for is in the journey of finding a way to do that thing for 15 minutes. Now, that does take a certain level of feeling some kind of motivation or some sort of discipline. So you do have to take some action somewhere. What we're exploring right now is what is the littlest action and the smallest action you can take and commit to that you can then build on. If you get the mail off the counter and throw away the shit and then pay the bills that you haven't been paying, even though you have the money, it's just like the typing in the thing and making the call is overwhelming. And then I go eat and I have a food problem. It's like, it's not a food problem. It's an avoidance problem in that case, right? Clean up your environment. Doesn't need to stay squeaky clean, but let yourself squeaky clean it. If you really don't want to do that, you're like, God, I just don't have the time. Hire somebody to come and clean up your place, clean out your car. Watch how much easier it is to take care of yourself when you can actually breathe and settle your nervous system into your house and into your bed when you're ready to go to sleep. Number 8. Romanticize your life. Create some novelty. Let cooking be more than cooking. Let cooking be a putting Fleetwood Mac on, but do 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 and dancing around the kitchen. Let eating be a ceremony. Light a candle. Let yourself taste your food. Like almost sexualize your eating experience. Like let yourself really feel what it's like to be a human. Right now, you're in so much task orientation. I have to do this, then I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this. What would it look like if you were to actually romanticize some of these things and let yourself enjoy them? If you were to let yourself enjoy creating a go-to meal for 10 minutes, if you were to let yourself enjoy eating, like to actually let yourself enjoy eating without shame or guilt or worrying about how many calories this, to like just enjoy a healthy meal that looks like it's a normal portion size without stressing out about it, and to romanticize it, to like put on some nice clothing and make a dinner and sit down and like eat that dinner. Romanticize your life. What do you want to feel in your life that you're not feeling right now? Number 9 is create accountability. Tell a friend. A lot of the times we're living in this like, well, I told everyone I'm going to lose weight, and I've told them all 310 times. In my case, at least 300 times I tried losing weight or told myself I was going to restart and then quit, a lot of the time same day. But sometimes made it a few months and lost a lot of weight. And you're probably anywhere in between that, and that's really relatable. Tell a friend. It's easy for us to tell people that we're losing weight, but we struggle to tell people that we are now struggling in a way that we weren't ready for and we don't know what to do. And just vocalizing that to your coach, to your community, to your weight loss group, or to the people in your household, or to your friends, to your coworkers, to your own boss, whatever it might be. Hey, I'm struggling with this thing. I'm not looking for advice. I just wanted to name it and just be witnessed. And I'm struggling right now. Even just saying that, or to yourself in the mirror, will really help you, or filming yourself saying it and then going back and watching the video will really help you to advise yourself and to just feel heard and feel a little bit less lonely and a little bit less isolated. Number 10, you've got to celebrate your wins. The issue is that you might, out of 100 decisions, you might make 99 healthy ones. I drank water, I woke up on time, I went for a walk, I did my work, I said hi to that person, and that made me feel good. Every decision you make for the whole day, you're making hundreds of thousands of decisions. 90 to 99% of them are probably aligned with your healthiest self, and then 1 to 10% of them aren't. But we beat ourselves up about the 1 to 10%, which causes us to spiral into continuing to make more and more unhealthy decisions because we feel guilt and shame that we're all or nothing and not 100% healthy instead of 95% healthy or whatever it might be. Celebrate your wins. It's okay that you get down on yourself for the losses, depending on where you're at on your journey. But that needs to be equally met with celebrating the things that are going well. And the best way to celebrate your wins is by saying something that maybe no one has ever said to you and no one really ever said to me until I started saying it to myself. And that's good job. Go back into the mirror and say, good job. What do you mean good job? I don't have the motivation. I haven't been taking care of myself. You're alive. You're still drinking water. You haven't thirsted yourself to death, right? So you are taking some healthy action. Good job. And I'm proud of you for taking that healthy action. Or maybe you're existing in a place where you haven't gained all the weight back or any weight back, but you're just in this plateau of like, I don't know, good job for not fully reverting back to old patterns and old habits. Can you give yourself the good job, the skinny privilege, the smile, the love that you are outsourcing to other people and have been for your whole life? Yes, you can. And people don't, why would I do that when I could just go keto? Isn't it? It's so funny because if I was in my old position, if I was still fat as fuck, listening to this, I go, what are you talking about, man? Like, I'm just going to count my calories and log them in an app. And why would I not just go keto and I'll figure out how to keep it off once I get there? Why would I tell myself? Why would I do all this mental stuff? You've already been doing that. Right? Allow yourself to try something different. You're listening to a podcast right now from a guy that's telling you to tell yourself to say good job. But the difference between the people that put obesity behind them and the people that don't is that most people that listen to this don't actually take the action that we're talking about. So right now you might actually be feeling some momentum, feeling some, wow, like this, yeah, these all make sense. I think this could be really helpful if I just implement it. And then we don't implement it. You get to choose where you end up on that spectrum 5 years from now, healthy or unhealthy. And it's coming only from the implementation. No amount of listening to these podcasts is going to result in permanent change or identity shift. Going out and actually implementing the tools is what is going to make the difference. So literally pause this right now and go to the mirror. If you're driving, pull over on the side of the road and pull out your camera and look at yourself in the camera and say, good job for blank, something that you're actually proud of because there's something in there. And if there's not, take a breath and think into it. Give yourself what you want from other people right now and experience what it's like to actually be a healthy person in doing so. You deserve it. And it does not need to come when you hit your weight loss goal. It needs to come right now on the journey of sustainability. Number 11, reignite some belief in yourself. What have you achieved so far? Right? So you had some motivation, maybe you've lost some weight. What have you achieved so far on this journey? Like if you had to just give yourself a bunch of compliments, what would they be? And they don't need to be huge, but it could be like you lost 10 pounds. You haven't gained that 10 pounds back. It could be like you went on that walk and that's pretty cool. And this is kind of tied into the good job thing. But how can you reignite some belief? And you could even take it all the way as far as I've never really achieved anything. I've never done anything consistently. Did you graduate from high school? Yes. So you showed up for a thing all the time when you probably didn't actually want to go. Yes. Yeah. Well, they made me. They didn't make you. You could have ran away, right? That was a choice at the end of the day, right? Celebrate yourself and reignite some belief. Remind yourself of what you've achieved so far. You're a parent. That means you raised children that are alive. Were you the best parent ever? Doesn't matter. Are your kids alive? Yes. That means they have an opportunity to better their own lives. And you did the best you could because everyone's doing the best that they can. So good job. And let's think about the things we've already accomplished in our lives and allow ourselves to feel some belief and to question, God, I had kids and in that, did I really think that I would be able to be a parent? Like when I really sit with it, like, there was a lot of anxiety tied to that and I did it, and the kids are fine. And like, they're working on themselves, hopefully, and they're taking care of themselves, or I'm taking care of them and I'm doing the best that I can. Reignite belief in yourself by reminding yourself of what you've already achieved, either on this journey or just in life. Number 12, we're going to reframe our setbacks. So if you're in a plateau, you're not feeling motivated, literally to say, what would be a toxically positive way of looking at a plateau? Well, a toxically positive way would be considering that one day there's not going to be any weight left to lose, which means that you will be in a forever plateau. So if your goal is 150 pounds and you're 250, and right now you're stuck at 225, I've still got 75 pounds to lose. Oh my God, I've been this weight for 4 weeks. That's great. Now you have a memory of not gaining the weight and of being a consistent weight, because when you get to 150, there will not be any weight left to lose. You will be in a forever plateau. And now you won't have to question whether or not you can maintain weight as much because you've been doing it for the last few weeks. So reframe every single setback as an opportunity for you to reinforce a belief or to practice something new. Number 13, step into your day one energy. How do you step into your day one energy? Step into your day one energy. Recommit. Just recommit. You're not restarting your day one, but you're stepping back into your day one energy. Look at old pictures of yourself. Look at old videos of yourself. Look at how far you've come. Remind yourself of what you've already done. Hype yourself up. Take your clothes off. Do the jelly belly truffle shuffle dance in the mirror. Laugh a little bit. Weight loss doesn't have to be so serious. It can be light. Yes, it is a serious thing. Yes, everything you're looking for is in the journey of addressing your relationship with food and how you got so fat in the first place and your relationship with yourself and your mindset. And it's not that serious. Step into some day one energy. Stand up straight, get your shoulders back. Take a big breath. Pound your chest a little bit. Let yourself make a goofy face. Life's not that serious. Neither is this podcast and neither is weight loss. Step into some day one energy. Literally say out loud, I recommit. I'm recommitting. Here's my why. Here's what I'm recommitting to. Here's the smallest habit that I'm committing to. Here's my NESW, nutrition, exercise, sleep, water, simplicity compass. Let's fucking go. I'm the man. I'm the woman. Everything I'm looking for is in this journey. I'm fed the fuck up. Enough is enough. I'm back in some day one energy and I'm going to ride it as long as it lasts. And number 14, the very last one here, is burn the boats. A lot of the times the lack of motivation comes from but you're still holding on to something that is prohibiting you from fully stepping into your healthiest self. You're giving yourself an out. And it might be as simple as, I'm still holding on to my fat clothes, my fat wardrobe. For me, I bounced around between, 170 and 270 for years. So I had medium, large, extra large, and 2X shirts. So I had 4 different sizes in the closet at most times, depending on the season. Summer, I'd have my smaller clothes. Winter, I'd have my 2 to 3X shirts. So I'd go from a 42 pant size to a 32 pant size. And I've done that maybe 6 or 7 times in my life for 6 or 7 years in a row. With the last time that I lost weight, I burned every single boat, meaning that as I lost the weight, I threw the clothing away. I didn't even Goodwill them. I trashed them. And, that probably wasn't great for the environment, but I was ready for them to be gone. And I didn't want to drive to Goodwill. They were in the garbage can. I burned all of the boats. There was no out. I told everyone what I was doing. I told everyone that I'd been trying my whole life, but this time was for real. And I said it with a different tonality. When you actually burn the boats, you don't give yourself any out at all. The keto cookbook that you have, trash. All the cookbooks that you have that are specific to a diet, trash. Literally just throw them away or Goodwill them if you'd rather do that, or sell them on Amazon or whatever. Any out that you give yourself, you will take. Any out that you give yourself, you will take. And this is why sustainable weight loss is so confrontational. But you've got to sit with the truth here. If you're holding on to bigger clothing, that's because there's a part of you that doesn't know if you're actually going to need it or not later. And the best way to become the person that you want to be is to put yourself in a position where you have to become them. Let me say that again. The best way to become the person that you want to be is to put yourself in a position where you have to become them. Meaning I told everyone that this was really it and that they could trust me. And I threw all my clothing away. It'd be really inconvenient for me to not continue making progress on this journey. When you embody that level of fuck you energy, I'm doing this, that's the momentum that you're looking for. And that will create a lot of certainty where you'll stop questioning why you're not motivated, and you'll stop even questioning the idea of motivation in the long run, because you realize it doesn't really matter that much. It only matters when you don't have certainty in your ability to do the thing that you're doing, which it makes sense that you don't and that I didn't, because we've been doing this our entire lives. So meet yourself with love, meet yourself with grace by saying that makes sense. And I'm choosing to do this either way. You absolutely have what it takes to lose weight. You absolutely have what it takes to put obesity behind you. You absolutely have what it takes to develop and build motivation for yourself, but also to make progress on yourself and your life without feeling motivation all the time. If you'd like for me to guide you on your journey to sustainable weight loss with something that I call the common sense diet system, which is the exact same process that I put myself through, that took me from yo-yo dieting, food obsessed, and seeing everything through the lens of my own obesity, my body, my insecurity in my body, and the control that food had over me, to somebody that has fully put obesity behind me with no weird habits. I'm not on a diet. You would never guess that I was fat unless I pulled my skin out like I'm doing right now on video. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, I'd be happy to talk to you about what that might look like. You can click the link in the description of this podcast episode or this YouTube video to book a call, and we will talk through it and see where we are aligned to work together. Have an amazing, amazing, healthy week. You deserve it. The world is ready for you to put this issue behind you. And the good news is that you can do that, and sustainable weight loss is possible.